Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about sleep. Dr. Daniel Barone here. And today I wanted to answer a question by one of my viewers. She had a great question, which is very, very common. She said, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, let me read it. Past couple months, I've been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and having a hard time getting back to sleep. What could possibly cause this, and what steps can I take to get myself back to normal sleep pattern? Well, that's a very, very common question, and that's actually what I get in my office a lot. People come in with that kind of complaint. Whenever we talk about disrupted sleep, there's really two main categories that can cause someone to have disrupted sleep. So one is something physical. So that means things like leg kicks throughout the night, or body movements throughout the night, or any kind of physical, pain, or in men having to go to the bathroom, prostate issues, and women potentially hot flashes when they go through menopause, that sort of thing. So in one category, I got physical stuff, and then the other category is non-physical stuff, and that's things like anxiety, depression. Depression is classic for early morning awakening, stress, things of that nature. So when somebody comes in with that kind of complaint, the question I always have is, well, are either one of these things possible? So, is there something like what we call restless leg syndrome or periodic leg movements of sleep? That's where people will kick their legs throughout the night. Is there something like sleep apnea that could also cause somebody to have disrupted sleep? So that's a big question. Then the other side is, what's the stress level like? What's the anxiety, depression situation in the house? Or noise could be another reason. So these are the questions that need to be answered. And let's say, for argument's sake, answering this person's email, if she were my patient, probably what I would suggest is having a sleep test. Be it an in-lab or a home test. An in-lab or a home test would help us to determine at least give us the opportunity to kind of cross some things off the list. Some of the physical things. Obviously, if they're there, then we would take care of it, particularly leg movements and sleep apnea. But if those things are not present, then it comes back to the question of, all right, what else can we do? Let's just say, for argument's sake, there is no physical problem here. Then what I would say is, well, that's a situation where perhaps, quote, breaking the cycle could be helpful. So that's where I would maybe prescribe medication. Okay, and I can do a whole other video about that. And that's something that you should definitely talk to your own doctor about. One of the things I recommend in these cases, if somebody doesn't want to try medication, would be melatonin, particularly delayed release melatonin. Melatonin is a million different companies make it, and it's not FDA regulated the way a medication would be. So, you're not really sure what you're getting unless it's a brand that you trust. So, I usually tell people, for situations like this, if you want to try something conservative, delayed release melatonin in the brand is called REM Fresh, REM Fresh. It has 2 and 5 milligram pills. Those could be something really helpful, assuming that we're not missing anything else, to try to help the brain either stay asleep, or if you do wake up, to get back to sleep. With these delayed release versions, you take it maybe half an hour before bedtime. There's no risk of addiction or anything like that, but the potential side effect is, how do you feel the next day? Okay, so that's where I would start. And then what you want to do in the middle of the night, if you can't get back to sleep, the worst thing you can do is go on the TV, go on a computer, go on your iPhone, even watch a video like this would not be the best thing, because the light that comes from those sources will keep you awake. So what you want to try to do is get in the habit of meditating. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, and I actually have a video on how to do that on this channel. Meditating can be very helpful, 5 or 10 minutes sitting on the edge of the bed to help clear your mind. That can help you get back to sleep. Sometimes what I do with my patients is actually have them delay their bedtime a little bit, so really, really, really tire them out. And by delaying the bedtime and keeping the wake time the same, you're going to help consolidate the sleep a little bit. Not something I would necessarily recommend without a doctor's help, but that's another possibility. Making sure that Noise is not a factor, so I sleep with earplugs myself because I live in New York City, so it's very noisy at times. You want to make sure that you're kind of working against that, or a white noise machine would be helpful if that's something that you think could be a problem. What else? Sleeping on your side at home. You know, sometimes people, when they have, if there is even a possibility of sleep apnea or borderline sleep apnea, and they roll onto their back throughout the night, that can trigger an awakening, kind of an abrupt gasping for air. So sleeping on the side would be helpful to reduce that. Regular exercise, you know, doing all the good habits. Minimizing light, so not just the sources that have backlit displays like TVs and computers and iPhones, but also noise, light and noise from outside. You know, you want to make sure you have blackout curtains, so none of that, you know, the street lamps or whatever, that light can creep in. You want to try to avoid that. So these are very conservative things that we're going over. If this person was my patient, I probably, like I said, would have them come in for a sleep test. If that ruled out any physical problem, then I would probably either concurrently or afterwards try a medication if melatonin didn't work. So that'd be where I start. So I hope that helps. Again, thank you for the question, and for all you guys out there. If you have questions like this or anything, or really of any topic, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will answer them. And in the meantime, please click like on this video. Please subscribe to my channel. My book, Let's Talk About Sleep, is in the description box. You can get it on Amazon. And I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, sleep well.